What's up, everybody? Well, I got another gameplay video for you guys today, and today we're gonna check out Alan Wake 2 on the secondary computer here. Now, I remember I did play this game before, back when I had the 7800X3D and this GPU combined, but I wanted to see if this game, got any extra FPS from a CPU upgrade. I think this game is more of a GPU upgrade kind of game, where you're better off getting a better GPU than a 3 Vcache GPU or like a 14900 or whatever kind of K processor. But I still wanted to see if there was any difference, just for fun. So why don't we? Well, I have to wait for it to finish downloading. It's like a 110 gig game. Doesn't take too awful long though when you have gig internet, which technically isn't even that fast, really. There's way faster than that. Now, I'd be happy to just have fiber, so I could also upload really fast too. My upload speed is absolutely atrocious. It takes me forever to upload my videos. I think it's only like 35 megabits up and then gig speeds down. Hey, I still download more, and that's more important to me, so I'm glad it's that way. Anyway though, going off on a tangent. As soon as it's done downloading, we'll have a look at some settings and we'll get ourselves some gameplay.
Alright, so we're going to start off just maxing the game out with path tracing and everything, which is a stupid idea. It's going to go very poorly, but I still just want to show you guys what'll happen. And then we'll work our way up to more playable FPS and whatnot from there. So, there's pretty much that. So now, let's hop into the game and let's watch the slideshow. Well, alright, here we go. Definitely not getting very many FPS, like a whopping 8 to 10. So, the 4070 Ti Super definitely wins in the path tracing department. It still doesn't get like playable FPS, but I believe it gets like 16, 17 just native at 4K, which is in higher resolution than this. But AMD's never really been known for ray tracing or having great upscaling either. But it's great at pure rasterization. And most of the people that get them are just, nope, I just want pure rasterization. I don't care about ray tracing, upscaling, or any of that shit. I just want pure frames. And it handles that part great, which you'll see later on once we get to turning the ray tracing off and all that stuff. Man, it would take me probably like almost a year or two to beat this game if I was getting these kind of FPS. Anyway, I can't take this anymore. Let's move on. All right, so now we're going to turn FSR on to quality, 960p apparently. Wish they had higher than FSR 2. Wish we had FSR 3.1 or something like that. But it's not like it's going to make it like super playable anyway, but let's go see. Alright, here we are in the game. And yeah, with upscaling, it almost matches what the 4070 Ti Super gets at 4K native. But still not what I would consider playable. Just like I said, neither one got playable FPS. Now, funny enough though, once you turned on DLSS performance, it got kind of close to like 30 FPS, and that's good enough for some people. That's not good enough for me, personally, but I'm not everybody.
Hey, over here.
Yeah, I don't quite feel like going down there yet. I feel we'll actually like go down like little benchmarking trail I've created here for myself after we at least get somewhat playable FPS. Right now, there's no point. I just wanted to see what would happen, and I figured some people just wanted to see what it was like if you did that stuff with the path tracing and everything. Otherwise, people go, well, what if this and what if that? And well, if I cover a bunch of bases, then they won't have to ask, right? All right, now we're going back to native. Still have the thing maxed out. But I pretty much put everything on low, but still have direct lighting and whatnot on. So let's see if that gets us even close to playable FPS. I doubt it, but I figured someone was like, well, what if you don't max out the ray tracing? All right, and here we go. And no, still not really playable FPS. Didn't think so, but it was worth a shot.
Before we get swallowed up by the trees.
We'll still try FSR 2 just for fun, but I still don't think it's going to be playable even with that.
You're the one who wanted to switch.
I think I hear someone.
Walking all the way back down.
Could be our deputy.
I can go take a look. Quit your belly aching for it. I'm up here now. Just how the cookie crumbles.
Alright, now let's turn on FSR to its quality setting. And leave everything else the same. Just low ray tracing. And after this, we'll put it on the actual, just straight up low ray tracing preset and see if that gets us anywhere. But for now, let's see how this does. Well, we're in the 20s now. Still not playable. Luckily, this thing's FPS counter's like pretty good at telling you what's acceptable and what's not. 30 FPS to this thing is still like, red, bad. No, like, not gonna feel good.
Good to see you still in one piece.
And I'm like, yeah, on PC that's true.
Force
On
can be a
console
dangerous place.
and on the handhelds, I can deal with 30 FPS and 40 FPS. I don't like it, but I can deal with it. On my desktops, though, I don't know. I just can't. It just feels way too slow. Probably because most of the time I'm with the keyboard and mouse on my main one, but it even doesn't feel good when I'm using a controller on my TV PC. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm just placeboing myself, too. Who knows? It's a freaking hell of a freaking thing, that placebo. So, now here we go. We're going to try putting it on just low preset for ray tracing now. We'll try this also with FSR, and then we'll try just turning ray tracing off, because obviously that's not working good. I just wanted to have some fun with it for a second. So now we're almost getting 30 FPS.
Worth memorizing before we get swallowed up by the
But not quite.
You're the one who wanted to
Still,
I
I
think
would
I hear
not
someone.
really want to play like
Could be
this,
our
but
deputy.
we can at least get a little bit more gameplay than just walking around in a circle, I guess.
I'm up here now.
Quit your belly aching, Thornton.
Just how the cookie crumbles.
Holy shit, it's already midnight. Hopefully I can get done with all these. I still wanted to start that metaphor game. But if I don't finish these, if I can't play that today, I'll just play it tomorrow. It's no big deal.
Hey, over here. Hey there. Agent Casey, right? Sheriff Breaker said you'd be coming by to take over the case.
You're half right. Anderson?
Saga Anderson. I'll be leading this case. Seems you already know my partner, Alex Casey.
Shoot. Sorry about that, ma'am. I'm Deputy Mulligan. I just figured that, you know, that, The federal agent's right here, Thornton. My partner, Thornton, down at the crime scene.
Let's just skip.
What can you tell us about the crime scene?
Keep forgetting I can do that.
Were there any witnesses?
Yeah, couple out-of-towners.
I want to see the body. How do we get there?
Oh, sure, that's real simple.
Before we get to the crime scene, there's time to review the facts of the case so far. Make sure I'm seeing the clues clearly.
Alright, wasn't there something that popped up? Just wondering, like, we went to her little, like, world or something. Okay. Was it a button, or... Maybe it just happens as I go forward. But either way, let's move on. Well, now we're going to do the same thing as last time, but with quality FSR 2 on. And that's still with the low ray tracing preset. So alright, let's go see how it does now. Alright, here we are back in the game. At least we're getting like 40-ish FPS. Which it
I need
still
to
is
think
kind of
through the
like,
facts of the case.
I don't know. It kind of doesn't like anything under a solid 60. Ah, there we go. You walk a little further and there it is. So it is
The
just
mine
how
place.
far you walk.
Mine.
The mine place, that's what she calls it. I
Excellent
couldn't
word.
remember.
Everything we know about the previous murders. Worth taking another look.
Oh, well, perfect time for a hit, I think.
Hard at work, Anderson. Close to cracking it?
We're just getting started. Let's head down the hill to the crime scene. Hey, Casey. You putting me in charge.
Be
Why
gone,
not?
stale
Look,
smoke.
Anderson, you're a better detective than I am.
Last thing I want to do is
You've cracked cases
go to
that
take a
have the
hit
rest of
next
us
and
baffled.
get a big mouthful
I
of
don't wanna
stale
slow you
smoke along
down.
with my fresh
Are you
hit.
thinking of
That
retiring?
would suck.
You know what happens to cops who say this is their last case.
Real funny, Anderson.
But yeah, there's probably a lot of people that would play with these kind of FPS. I would not want to. Not with the GPU like this.
Stairs
On
are out.
AMD, like I said,
You okay to
I'm with the
jump
rest of the
down?
guys. I'd just turn ray tracing off and just go. Sometimes you still have to use FSR though. Most of the time though, this 7900 XTX is powerful enough to not really need it at ultra wide. That's why I went with ultra wide instead of 4K. I figured it could do a lot of 4K, but I figured, well, I've got a 4092 and that son of a bitch struggles in a lot of games at 4K, so this thing's not quite as powerful, so let's not try to make it do that. Let's just have it do ultra wide. I think it'd be a match made in heaven. And most of the time, besides games like this, I was pretty much right. So now let's turn ray tracing off and just max the game out and see if it can handle it and stay above 60, or at least around 60. Oh, here we go. I don't know if that's been off the whole time, but anyway, as you can see now, ray tracing is off. So hopefully we'll get some pretty playable FPS now, but I still don't know if it can handle the game maxed out. But hey, let's go find out. Well, here we go. And it looks like it could almost hit 60. If we weren't recording, it would probably stay there most of the time, but it's kind of the thing looking like where it would be like, hey, you get it like 99% of the time, but every once in a while, it probably still will drop under 60.
I think I hear someone.
So if you don't want that to happen,
Could be
you'd
our
probably have
deputy.
to still use a little FSR, which we will try next. But the forest is one of the hardest places to run, but there's still probably some places, like just little tiny spots here and there that might be a little bit more demanding.
Agent Casey, right? Sheriff Breaker said you'd be coming by to take over the case.
You're half right. Anderson?
Saga Anderson. I'll be leading this case. Seems you already know my partner, Alex Casey.
Shoot. Sorry about that, ma'am. I'm Deputy Mulligan.
Were there any witnesses?
Yeah, a couple out-of-towners. I wonder what they were doing sneaking around the woods at night.
I want to see the body. How do we get there?
Oh, sure, that's real simple.
Before we get to the crime scene, there's time to review the facts of the case so far. Make sure I'm seeing the clues clearly.
All right, let's go to that case board. Get this out of the way.
The
Kind of wish
man-
you could just skip this altogether,
Facts are
but
on the board.
at least they make it,
Everything
well,
we
besides
know
your
about the
sentence here, it's
previous
pretty quick
murders.
to get through. You can't really skip
Worth
that,
taking
but
another
everything
look.
else, you just do what it wants you to do real quick, and you're golden. You can get back to what you want to do. Sometimes this kind of like bugs out. Like, okay, there we go. It's trying to make a liar out of me is what it's trying to do.
Already hard at
But
work,
anyway, let's
Anderson.
continue down our little path
Close to
here.
cracking it?
We're just getting started. Let's head down the hill to the crime scene. Hey, Casey. You putting me in charge. Why now?
Look, Anderson, you're a better detective than I am. You've cracked cases that had the rest of us baffled. I don't want to slow you down.
Are you thinking of retiring? You know what happens to cops who say this is their last case.
Real funny, Anderson.
Stairs are out. You okay to jump down?
I'm not that old. Fucking nature. Gives me a headache.
He does
Too
not
much
like
sky.
nature. But in any case, time to move on. All right, here we go. Now we're turning FSR on quality here. Just run the game maxed out, no ray tracing still this time. And now we will stay over 60 the whole time. At least I'm pretty sure, but hey, let's go find out. So here we go.
Eaten by a bear?
Now we got
I'll check
FSR
out that
on.
map.
Doesn't even really look that much worse. FSR usually makes everything look way worse.
Memorizing.
But it doesn't look completely horrible, but still wished I didn't have to use FSR.
I think I hear someone.
Not walking all the way back
Could
down.
be our deputy.
I can go take a look.
Hey, over here. Hey there. Agent Casey, right? Sheriff Breaker said you'd be coming by to take over the case.
You're half right. Anderson?
Saga Anderson. I'll be leading this case. Seems you already know my partner, Alex Casey.
Shoot. Sorry about that.
Were there any witnesses?
Yeah, couple out-of-towners.
I want to see the body. How do we get there?
Oh, sure, that's real simple.
Before we get to the crime scene, there's time to review the facts of the case so far. Make sure I'm seeing the clues clearly. The facts are on the board. Everything we know about the previous murders. Worth taking another look.
I see you're already hard at work, Anderson. Close to cracking it?
We're just getting started. Let's head down the hill to the crime scene. Hey, Casey. You putting me in charge. Why now?
Look, Anderson, you're a better detective than I am. You've cracked cases that had the rest of us baffled.
Yeah, getting
I don't
plenty of
wanna slow you
FPS now.
down.
Are you thinking of retiring? You know what happens to cops who say this is their last case.
Real funny, Anderson.
Stairs are out. You okay to jump down?
I'm not that old. Fucking nature. Gives me a headache. There's too much sky.
Alrighty, and now, time to move along. Now let's just try running on high instead of ultra, or just maxed. I don't think it makes a huge difference, but might be worth a frame or two, and I just wanted to try it out for fun. So, now, let's get ourselves back into the game, and let's see how it does. Here we go. No FSR to start with, but we'll do that
I'll
next.
check out that map.
But I think with this even, it stays above 60 most of the time. There might be like a tiny blip here and there where it goes down.
You're the one who wanted to swing.
Like
I
into the
think I
high
hear someone.
50s, but that might just be because we're recording.
our
Probably wouldn't
deputy.
do that if
I
we
can
weren't.
Go take a look.
But even that is pretty rare.
Hey,
For the most part, I didn't see it really dropping under 60, if I can remember. But I did so many systems today. It's hard to remember. If I just did the one, it'd be one
coming
thing.
by to take over the case.
You're half right. Anderson?
Saga Anderson. I'll be leading this case. Seems you already know my partner, Alex Casey.
Shoot. Sorry about that, ma'am. I'm Deputy Mulligan. I just figured that, you know, that, Federal agents right here, Thornton. My partner, Thornton, down at the crime scene.
Were there any witnesses?
Yeah, couple out-of-towners. I wonder what they were doing.
I want to see the body. How do we get there?
Oh, sure, that's real simple. Just through the hole in the fence, down the hill towards the lake, around the old convenience store. You can't miss it. Everything's been closed since the area was fenced off. The store, the campground, all of it.
Mulligan, tell him I'm here, waiting. Awesome?
Before we get to the crime scene, there's time to review the facts of the case so far. Make sure I'm seeing the clues clearly. The mine place. The facts are on the board. Everything we know about the previous murders. Worth taking another look.
I see you're already hard at work, Anderson. Close to cracking it?
We're just getting started. Let's head down the hill to the crime scene. Hey, Casey. You putting me in charge. Why now?
Look, Anderson, you're a better detective than I am. You've cracked cases that had the rest of us baffled. I don't want to slow you down.
Are you thinking of retiring? You know what happens to cops who say this is their last case.
Mm-hmm. Real funny, Anderson.
Stairs are out. You okay to jump down?
I'm not that old. Fucking nature. Gives me a headache. There's too much sky.
Alright though, time to move on. Now we'll try running the game on high, but with FSR and quality. And then after that, we'll get a little camera recording gameplay in. But alright, that's the bottom, so it's back to the game we go. Alright, here we go. Back in the game, and we definitely get a few extra FPSs. It's not night and day difference between like maxed out and high, but you definitely get a few more FPS, so.
I think I hear someone.
And it doesn't really look that much
Could
different
be
if
our
I'm honest.
deputy.
I could go take a look.
I said we should both be.
Hey, over here.
Now, FSR does make it look a little bit worse, but it's still not like, oh my god, this is terrible looking or anything like
Sheriff
that.
Breaker said you'd be coming by
But
to
if you
take
look
over
for
the
it, you can
case.
tell.
You're
But if you just
half
enjoy
right.
the game, I don't think most normal people would even really tell. But if you pixel peep or have really
Saga
good vision
Anderson.
like me
I'll
and
be leading
can
this
sit here and
case.
just
Seems you
watch
already
all
know
this
my
stuff
partner,
while I'm
Alex
playing and
Casey.
doing the voiceovers here,
Shoot.
yeah, it's a little easier to
Sorry
notice
about
that stuff.
Were there any witnesses?
Yeah, a couple out-of-towners. I wonder what they were doing.
I want to see the body. How do we get there?
Oh, sure, that's real simple.
Before we get to the crime scene, there's time to review the facts of the case so far. Make sure I'm seeing the clues clearly. The mine place. The facts are on the board. Everything we know about the previous murders. Worth taking another look.
I see you're already hard at work, Anderson. Close to cracking it?
We're just getting started. Let's head down the hill to the crime scene. Hey, Casey. You putting me in charge. Why now?
Look, Anderson, you're a better detective than I am. You've cracked cases that had the rest of us baffled. I don't want to slow you down.
Are you thinking of retiring? You know what happens to cops who say this is their last case.
Mm-hmm. Real funny, Anderson.
Stairs are out. You okay to jump down?
I'm not that old. Fucking nature gives me a headache. There's too much sky.
Alright, and now with that, why don't we move on to a little bit of some camera recorded gameplay now.
Alright, let's get a little camera recorded
Eaten by a
gameplay now,
bear.
so we don't have anything
I'll
interfering
check
with the
out that map.
FPS. Though I don't think Shadow Play and Relive do too bad. I think they only take 3 to 5
Worth
FPS if that.
memorizing before we get
But I
swallowed
still like
up
doing
by
that,
the
because lots of
tree.
people like seeing this from, like, the person's point of view as well.
You're the one who wanted to switch.
I think I hear someone.
I'm not walking all the way back
Could
down.
be our deputy.
I can go take a look.
I think we should both be down here. Watching this.
Hey, over here. Hey there. Agent Casey, right? Sheriff Breaker said you'd be coming by to take over the case.
You're half right. Anderson,
Saga Anderson. I'll be leading this case. Seems you already know my partner, Alex Casey.
Shoot. Sorry about that, ma'am.
Were there any witnesses?
Yeah, a couple out-of-towners. I wonder what they were doing sneaking around the wood.
I want to see the body. How do we get there?
Oh, sure, that's real simple. Just through the hole in the fence, down the hill towards the lake, around the old convenience store. You can't miss it. Everything's been closed since the area was fenced off. The store, the campground, all of it.
Mulligan, tell him I'm here, waiting. I'll show him around.
Before we get to the crime scene, there's time to review the facts of the case so far. Make sure I'm seeing the clues clearly. The facts are on the board. Everything we know about the previous murders.
Indeed.
Worth taking another look.
I see you're already hard at work, Anderson. Close to cracking it?
We're just getting started. Let's head down the hill to the crime scene. Hey, Casey. You putting me in charge. Why now?
Look, Anderson, you're a better detective than I am. You've cracked cases that had the rest of us baffled. I don't want to slow you down.
Are you thinking of retiring? You know what happens to cops who say this is their last case.
Mm-hmm. Real funny, Anderson.
Stairs are out. You okay to jump down?
I'm not that old. Fucking nature gives me a headache.
Yeah, I kind of like it. I don't go out into it too often, but when I do, it's fun. Well, luckily Michigan's relatively safe. There's not too much stuff here that wants you dead. Now, if I lived in Australia or Africa, I'd be freaking scared to even, like, close my eyes for a second, thinking,
Not a
okay,
bad
some
place to
spider,
get
some
murdered.
bug can land on me,
Getting
bite
back
me,
to
and I'm
nature
going
is
to
your
die.
thing.
It's like, great.
Damn.
Yeah, game
Should've
road's
brought
really
an
good.
umbrella.
I like the rain. The only thing around here that feels like home.
You think the local law had the sense to put up a tarp?
If they did, next coffee's on me.
General store.
Try explaining it one more time.
Yeah,
Deputy Thornton, I take it.
That's me, at your service, ready to get this case solved. Now the body's behind the store. Come on, I'll show you. So, FBI, huh? That's so cool. Hunting down psycho serial killers and shootouts with the mob. These are not UFO cover-ups. Oh, those are real? You guys hiring? Let's just see this body, shall we?
We got the witch's ladle and the witch's hut.
Now this is the scene of the crime. We found him on the table. Now he didn't touch nothing, you know, procedures and stuff.
Thanks, Deputy.
No tar.
And alright, I think that's just about that.
Okay.
So why don't we
Let's
go
start by
ahead
examining
and
our
wrap this
specimen.
video on up.
Well, alright guys, that is a wrap for Alan Wake 2 on the secondary computer here with the 7800X3D and the 7900 XTX. And it made a little bit of a difference, but it wasn't anything to write home about. Pretty much what I was expecting though. This is more of a GPU intensive game, but when ray tracing is a thing, that can be CPU intensive too, but unfortunately AMD is so bad at path tracing, and path tracing in general is just hard to run. It's not like Nvidia does it flawlessly 60 FPS native either. In fact, I feel like I'm gonna try it out on my 4070 Ti Super and my TV PC's 4090, and then the same 5800 X3D that used to be attached to this 7800 XTX, or excuse me, 7900 XTX. Too many different freaking GPUs, sometimes it gets a little bit confusing. Anyway though, still it did a more than acceptable job as soon as you turn that ray tracing off and just use the games and built-in Lumen ray tracing or whatever it's using. I don't think this is Unreal. I think, isn't this its own thing? I swear they use their own engine. I could be wrong on that though, but I'm pretty sure it has its own built-in ray tracing regardless. It's just not super ultra heavy, but the game still was barely able to stay above 60 without FSR's help. But if all you want is 60, it could have still probably done that like 99.9% of the time. Can almost guarantee there'd be some spots in the game where it would still drop down like 57, 58 or something like that without FSR. But if you could deal with FSR not really looking the world's best, well, then you can have a little bit extra FPS. But in any case though, I think I'm gonna go get started on those other two computers in this game, since I think I played this on everything else besides those other two computers at this point. I think that'd be pretty worth it. But anyway, that's all I got for you guys for this particular video, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video, because I sure as hell enjoyed making it for you guys. And until the next video, peace out, guys.